Hi! This time I wanted to talk about why it's so important to trust in the mind's eye of the players. As a game master, you have an exceptional task before you. You need to present the world where the player characters are going to interact with the non-player characters, with the adventure sites, with the objects, etc. If you don't present this world correctly, the session won't proceed accordingly. It's all going to fall to pieces because there is no coherence in your game world. But when you learn to communicate the essentials of each of the different places that the player characters visit, the essentials of the non-player characters, the personalities, the objects, artifacts, the players will do the rest for you. It's very surprising because it almost feels as if there is actually some sort of telepathy between game master and players. As the players suddenly fill in the gaps just the way that you envision things. I think it has a lot to do with connecting the dots. If you tell the players that they enter a room that appears to be a wizard's study, they can already imagine bookcases, beakers, laboratory tables. They can fill in so many things. You only need to communicate the essentials of that particular scene. Those essentials are going to be the dots, and the players are going to trace the lines between the dots. Take a look at my actual plays, the first and specifically the second part. Just take a look at how C4 Crispy had a very clear idea of the tower when they were looking for Lothian. Of course, this video is going to contain spoilers for part 2. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. But as C4 Crispy was looking through his character Esben, they were looking for the whereabouts of Lothian. They encountered Lothian's tower. Both Killian and C4 Crispy immediately had a good idea of how the tower was structured. They went around it. Is there another way into the tower? No. I walk around the tower to look for some other entrance. And you keep the immersion. And suddenly they spotted this hole near the top of the tower. And they decided to examine. I start to examine the walls of the tower. They noticed the handholds because of the bricks or the stones of the tower. They were able to climb quite easily to the top, to the hole. And then inside, C4 Crispy immediately got the layout pretty clear. And he decided to tie a rope to one of the sculptures or the objects within the tower. As a game master, your load of describing things is so much lighter. Is pretty light because of the way that the players are using their mind's eye to fill in the gaps. You don't need to tell them everything. Perhaps you could even say that it's an insult against the player characters, the players' intelligence and imagination. Just give them the essentials. I remember when I first started to play tabletop role-playing games because the Gygax method never taught you anything about roleplay. It was very difficult to describe some of the trickier dungeon structures and sites. Especially when it comes to some crazy gonzo things. Sometimes you just want to show a picture to the players, but that also takes away from the way that the players are painting the image inside of their heads. It becomes so vivid when you are handling things through description. If there is a beautiful piece of art, maybe you want to show it to them so that they go ooh and ah, but tell them, before you see a scene quite similar to this. But I would still consider it a bit immersion breaking. Not necessarily so. But if you are showing a picture, you're kind of like, I feel that sometimes you are pulling them from the experience. In my case, I prefer to use little to no images. In my online game, I am not using images at all. I prefer that the players fill in the gaps. They come up with their own vision of the world. We are experiencing the same game world, but through different lenses. And through those lenses, they still appreciate the essentials, the fundamentals, the basics of the game world. So, as a game master, dungeon master, referee, whatever, just communicate the essentials for each scene. These essentials are going to be the points that the players use to connect, to form lines, to form silhouettes, shapes, all sorts of things. And because of this is also going to speed up the game. Because this is part of roleplay. This is actual roleplay. How many adventures, modules will you be able to play if you are not wasting time describing every single thing in painstaking detail, painstakingly? If you want to play many adventures in a single lifetime, you need to roleplay. You need to understand the basics. Imagine all of those long campaigns and mega dungeons that people tell you, oh, you need to play them for 5 years, 4 years to complete them. I bet that perhaps you only need 2 or even 1 year, or perhaps even less, if there is actual roleplay and you are not wasting time. Can my character use this ability? Can I look around this? What can I see? And the game master, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? All of those things add up, and it's away at the session. So much time wasted because you are not applying roleplay. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.